zone. He had a great day today. I thought. What did you think of Robinson, and what can he contribute?
Yeah, I thought he did a good job. We hated going against him last year. He's a big guy, plays tough, has good hands, and had a good OTAs for us. Had a decent job today, and we'll see what happens with possible suspension those first couple games. But he's a guy we know is going to help us out this year, and we're counting on him too.
I'm wondering how much growth you've seen in Isaac Garendo. Of course, he was out there with the first group a couple of times today. Just what did you see out of him coming back this time around compared to his rookie season, and how much do you expect that to show out there on the field this season?
Well, a lot of that, mainly with running backs, O-line, D-line, it's kind of tough with OTAs just because of the way practices go. You don't get to truly evaluate as much from a football standpoint, just the way it is. But, the injury came off that he got in week 17, the last game of the year at Arizona. The way he rehabbed that, the way he attacked that, he was here all offseason. I thought he had a great OTAs, and it's been one day, but he's put himself in a position to be better this year.
How will you use the new practice field? Will you rotate them?
It's a work in progress. Today was my first time out there with that field, so it was the first time it was different for me in 9 years, and so I felt nauseous out there. I was dizzy the whole time. We're creatures of habit. I've stood in the same place all the time. I didn't know where to go today. But we'll get used to it. We could rotate it and stuff. The cool thing is it's the first time, we got a full 120-yard field and got our first field goal in there. That's not that's stationary. So a lot more room and stuff, which is nicer, but it's a work in progress. I'm trying to not change everything after one day, so we're going to give it 3 days and see what to do next.
On the kicking, in the past you've had one kicker kick one day and another kicker kick. It switched up. Was that totally a Boyer thing? And do you think it maybe adds to the competitive field to have them switching off kicks?
Yeah, I do. It all depends on the reps we give him and stuff, and Brand decides on that, how he wants to do it, so he can do it over the course of time. So it's not just always day to day. We can stack these up and see who has the better camp. But I think between the two of them, I think they missed one in OTAs, so they've both been kicking real well, and it should be a really good battle this camp.
So like what you saw today?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
We know you anticipated Juwan to be out there on the field today, but just how important was that for you as a coach to have him on the field participating?
It's always, for anyone at the Niners, but definitely coaching-wise, you want everyone out there on the field, especially some of your better players. And Juwan's been a hell of a player for us here for a while, one of our leaders too, and he had a good practice, and it was great to have him out there.
I noticed you gave him a hug at the beginning of practice. Can you share what you told him?
What's up? How you doing? Do that with probably 25 other guys too. But yeah, just what I do.
What did you gauge from, his spirits? Because from our perspective, it kind of seemed like he was in good spirits, kind
What's
of
that?
dancing around. What did you gauge from just his spirits, just the mood that he was in?
Seems like Juwan.
Attention drifted all to the defensive line and team drills where you want to see how Mikel Williams is doing maybe next to Huff.
My attention drifts everywhere in practice. There's a lot of things, but that's why I put so much into film, so I don't feel like I got to see everything out there. And if you do, you might see it wrong. It goes so fast. So, that's stuff I really settle down when I get in my office and really can evaluate it with remote, fast forward, rewind. But guys you haven't seen yet next to each other, we're just as eager to see it as you guys, but we get better tape angles so I don't have to force it at that moment.
Does that happen often, that you see something on the field and then when you get in your film, it's something totally different than what you thought?
With most people, never with me. No, I'm just joking. It happens a lot. Sometimes you can see it and you know exactly what it is, but sometimes there's a lot of times you think you saw it, and that's what I've learned over time. If you think you saw it and it's something that you feel aggressive with and you want to go correct it right, well, it's not good to correct something that you think you saw, get a player to totally do something different for the next hour and a half, and then you get in there and get a better angle and realize it wasn't exactly what you saw. So you learn with that the hard way sometimes.
Colin, D. Winters obviously made a play. You mentioned him as a guy among everyone, I guess, who needs to step up. But where specifically does he need to grow as a player?
Well, I just think this is his, he has his best opportunity right now, with, he had a decent one last year, but we were always hoping that Drake could come back. When D did make a ton of progress last year and he started to take over that job, and he had a number of setbacks with injuries, so it took him a while to do it. I thought he had a hell of an OTAs, showed that he was capable of doing this, and we just want to see him continually get better at it, be consistent. Hopefully he has good luck avoiding injuries, but D's a guy we believe can be a hell of a player. We're just hoping he fully gets there.
You get a good look at what exactly he saw today on that interception.
On what's that?
D on his interception today, it looked like, was he sitting on that route? Did he identify something?
No, I think the quarterback just missed him. He was right in the zone, reading his eyes, and he got right under it. Quarterback should have turned it down, but got a little bit aggressive with it.
Now, what have you learned so far or discovered about Mac Jones that you did when you brought him in?
I mean, not a lot. I'm still learning about him, but I mean, I didn't know Mac before we brought him in. I mean, you get to talk to a guy a little bit in the draft process and stuff, but that was a COVID year, so we couldn't really meet with anybody. It was all Zoom, so it's been nice to have him in here throughout the whole offseason and get to know his personality and everything. From a player standpoint, a lot what we expected. We're really excited about him, loved him coming out of college. We've liked him in the NFL, and I'm excited to have him here.
You had all your drafty defensive linemen on the field, Collins, I think, for the first time. Just do you notice the physical presence from that group, just having them out there together?
Yes. I mean, we lost a lot of D linemen, and we had to add a lot of D linemen, and, they all weren't out there in OTAs, so, we knew they were in the building. But it was nice to get Michael and Alfred out there together. Obviously, their size jumps out, and, they're still trying to get back into this and learn a lot. They got a long way to go, but excited we started it today and excited to go watch the tape on them.
What have you seen from Nick Bosa as he evolves as a leader in that group?
You can just tell Nick, takes, Nick is, you guys know Nick pretty well. He doesn't vary out of his personality very much. But I do think he talks to those guys a lot more. Nick will never say anything just to say it in any situation, but he doesn't hold back as much. And I think he knows he can help guys. And when he sees spots that he can help guys with, he doesn't hesitate.
Will Nick and Trent and Christian be on a schedule throughout training camp? I don't think they did any team stuff today.
Yeah, we have a number of guys, like guys with injury past, guys with age, guys who grow in stuff now, guys who aren't totally hurt, but there's certain things with their history or what their ages and stuff we have plans with. So they're all different, but a lot of those guys is coming off an off day. They just do individual. Sometimes we'll stagger them, but we got a whole mapped out thing that they update me on each day.
Kyle, what do you think of Equimany St. Brown's first day in a 49er uniform?
I mean, it was good to have him out there. I'll see more when we watch the film, but I've always liked him, and it was a good first day for him.
How hard is it for a player to sign a deal one day and then be, on the field the very next brand new situation, and it's got to be tough to acclimate so quickly?
Yeah, it is. I mean, that's why you hope there's some carryover from other places they've been, just terminology-wise. That's why you got a chance to a degree early on in camp, because most of the plays are scripted, so you're not just going out there and having to randomly know whatever comes out of our mouth. So it gives them a chance to memorize some things the night before so they can at least get through it. But it is a huge challenge. Once you have a few guys miss a couple plays or have to take some off and you got to move a position, that's when they really kind of have no chance, and you can't get mad at them because they just get here a day before. But the urgency is there. They got to pick it up. They got to do it fast if they want a chance to make this team.
Coach, when it comes to Juwan Jennings, obviously you guys anticipated that he would be out there, but to have him out there, given, the history of the past few years, does that move the needle at all in the minds of the coaches with the kind of guy you have in Juwan Jennings and maybe wanting to give him what he wants because he wants to give you guys what you guys want?
Yeah, I don't think we know Juwan and Juwan knows us. I think the other way makes it harder. But I don't really compare things to other years and other people. People have plans. It's a business plan. It's usually a plan between a player and agent, and I see it happen all over the league. It's happened with us, and it's something that I try not to get too worked up about because there's not always much I can do about it. So I always try to recommend them to do what I think will help them the most, and I think Juwan's doing that.
Kyle, at what point in the 40 days away do you get the itch to be back on this podium and get going for real?
Never. I like to get back going, but you started with on this podium.
Is the first padded day scheduled to be Sunday or is it Monday?
It is, what's today? League rule, you need 4. Yeah. So we're going to have 3 off, I think 3 practices. I think Sundays are off day. Then Monday's Saturday's off day. Sunday will be our 4th. Monday's first day of pads.
It seems that Jacob Cowing has a real opportunity this season. What do you need to see from him to have it?
I thought Jake had one of the best OTAs out of anybody on our team in terms of most improved, the most prepared for it. Unfortunately, I think he pulled his hamstring and routes on air today before we started. So I'd say to just keep on his trajectory. hopefully he can stay healthy and keep going where he did in OTAs, but probably had a little setback today. So hopefully that's better news than what we're guessing out there, and he can get back to what he's doing in OTAs.
What have you seen from Jason Pinnock and Jair Brown at the safety position? I know there's a little.
It was nice to get Tig back out there today with Jair. You know, he didn't get to do OTAs. I thought Pinnock had a real good OTAs. You know, it was our first time getting to know him and stuff, and got a lot of reps and stuff, especially with all those guys out. So it was cool to see Tig out there today with them, and excited to watch them work together on film.
What is day one like for you?
It's a little frustrating. Like I hate practicing without pads. It just worries me. So I just want to follow these rules, get to the pads, so like it's a little safer with protection and stuff. You have a chance to block people. You can start, just getting more ready for football. It's hard day one. Everyone's ready to go, but it's still got to be patient. So I just try to stay as relaxed as possible to get in this groove, and usually we are by next week.
How do you think Upton Stout did in the spring?
I thought I did a real good job, especially for a rookie coming in, just throwing him into the nickel roll. He almost made a hell of a play today. I thought he had a pick six, just mistimed it and actually gave up the completion, but it was really good coverage. But I was real excited with him in OTAs, and he's one of the guys where I think he's got a chance to compete to help us throughout this training camp and into the season.
During the spring, Lenore mentioned, he likes playing that nickel, but it'd be tough for him to move off of it. How much into account do you take? Does that matter a lot when you're trying to figure this out? Maybe he does want us to be inside when they go three receivers?
Yeah, we take all that into account. It's I do think it's hard on a guy to keep moving him. It's hard to play outside and inside and do that throughout the game. I do think Demo's really good at both. I personally think it's harder to avoid nickels than it is corners, so I like him in there at nickel. But we're definitely going to have him on the outside when you're in base. So it all kind of has to depend with how our top three are and where to put him in. We know Demo can play at a high level of both. If we can keep him at one, that usually is better for the player. But we got to have three guys who fill in those roles, and then you got guys who can back him up after.
How do you judge, or I guess measure, Brock's growth on a day like today, from day one to today? How do you measure it?
I don't. Day one, when he first got here today?
No, yeah, from his first day here to like today, the player he is today.
I wish I could give you a better answer, but it's too broad for me. The same with everybody. You don't just sit here and evaluate their whole thing from year one to now. Like you're writing a book to tell his whole career. It's everything's about being the best you can be. And so everything we have on is film, everything we do is work. When we practice and do stuff on air, we come in and review it. So it's just constant critique, evaluation, and trying to get better. That's why they need to get away from us sometimes. So I think it's important they get away from us for 40 days because now they're going to hear us for 7 months. And you need guys who can take that. And that's why I love Brock. He's got the ability, but he's also made of the right stuff, that he's always pushing himself, is never satisfied. And he's going to not just do what we ask him to do, he's going to do as much as he can to get better. And that's why I like when he improves on things when he's away from us. And I like when we come back together and I can get to see him. I always feel he's a little stronger when he comes back, just from his body standpoint, from his throwing standpoint. And then we just evaluate each day as it goes.
With Cowing's injury, do you need to sign another wide receiver?
You don't have to, but we always would like to. Especially with some of the stuff I was telling you guys yesterday. So we got to look at the rest of the roster, but that's always what's tough when guys are on PUP, not just wideouts, but everybody, because you like to pretend it's a 90, but I think it's really like an 83 right now because they're PUP, and then when you get that, it goes to an 82. So you sign an extra receiver, what other position can we go short at? So that's stuff that we'll always be trying to figure out.
What do you appreciate most about Kittle's leadership style?
That he's there, always. Kittle is probably one of the most positive people I've ever been around, which I think can be really good. Sometimes I don't want him to be so positive when we're struggling, but I think it's a good balance with everything. That's who he is, and he's consistent with that. So I think guys look to that for him, but when it comes to leadership, the best thing is showing up and doing your job and doing it as good as you can every day, in terms of playing when you don't feel right, preparing, knowing your assignments, getting your body right in every situation. And I think everyone on our team knows Kittle's going to do all those things, and to me, that's the best type of leadership you can show.
You dad advice to Christian?
What's that?
You give any dad advice to Christian, and did he look a little sleepier coming in today?
I just messed with him, asked him if he was going to change now that he's a dad, and he made it adamant he wouldn't. So we'll see. I'm sure he won't. He's a psycho.
You've seen this whole evolution in training camp
So-
from beginning, from when you first got into coaching to now, where there's so much stress on recovery and less banging bodies. Is this better?
What's that?
Training camp in terms of getting a player ready to play, as opposed to when you first got in and there was more banging from the beginning and all the way through camp?
Yeah, I think that was one thing that was different. Like just the places I've been, not all of them, but most of the places I've been, and the philosophy that I developed by the places I've been. You know, we never did tackle anywhere. It was always shorter practices. Like we didn't have to change any of our rules with time or anything when they started to do rules for time, because some people were practicing for 4 hours. We didn't have to change much with our pads and stuff. To me, where we've gotten so much better is understanding like the output that people put in, the distance that they run, knowing when to shorten the length of things, knowing what type of practice to script when they've had a day off. You know, back in the day, you think guys had a day off and they recovered, and so that would be the harder day. When you're recovered and you're coming in, that's when the most injuries happen. That's why we always have a low day right after a day off. Our second day is always a high day of reps. Our third day is a medium. We do 40 reps on a Wednesday and a Thursday during the season. We're trying to build them to be prepared for the season, but we won't do 40 reps until I believe it's our 12th practice versus Denver. And then we try to do that on our high day about 4 times, and we try to bring them back down so they can feel fresh again like they do right now, right before the season. But then they're ready to do 40 rep practices on a Wednesday and Thursday. So all that stuff to me is what we've gotten better at, just knowing how to do it. The rules and things, they've changed us in OTAs by not being able to fully practice football. But in terms of changing our practice, it hasn't much. We've kind of always been like that.
Last one. When it comes to Ricky out there, he was, especially towards the end of practice, he was getting some work in, and I don't think he was going full speed, but close to it, or maybe somewhere around in that ballpark. How encouraging is it to see that? And if you could kind of give an update on where is he in the process, being that he's on the PUP list, but he looks pretty active.
Ricky is someone that, I mean, if this was probably a few years ago, we would have practiced him today. I mean, when you hit your GPS speed, your max speed that you hit before you were hurt, when you can run all those routes, that's usually your protocol to go back. And he hit all that stuff over the weekend, which we felt good about, but we wanted to make sure his conditioning was right. So we're just doing that for 3 days, and if he can continue to hit all that stuff and his conditioning is good, I'd be surprised if he wasn't out there Sunday.
All right, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Thanks.
Nick, what was your first impression of Michael out there and Alfred?
Michael looked really good. He's very physical. He's got a big reach, so I think he just needs to hone in, obviously, his first day on his aiming points and trusting the system. I think him and Alfred are coming from different styles, so but both of them have immense talent, so it'll be fun to watch them
What's
grow.
it like being out there again with Coach Solid? How's he different from the coach you saw go to the Jets?
Coaches, yeah, I mean, when I was a rookie, I didn't really know any better, so yeah, having him back has been awesome. I've spent a good amount of time with him, played a little golf and hung out in OTAs, so I got to know him a little more as a person, which is cool. And then just his commanding presence in the defensive meetings is it's what we needed.
Nick, you've had a lot of turnover on the defensive line in your 7 years here, so now you have some young guys, some vets. What's this group like to you?
I like the group. I like our new additions. Talking about the D-line. Yeah, I mean, bringing Bryce in and obviously having Sam and Yetur and Jordan and KD, guys that have been around. But also the new guys. I mean, I like it. I like the group. I think we have a lot of talent. I think when you look out on the field, you see NFL bodies out there that look impressive, which is a good thing. Obviously, we're young, but I think, I mean, just because nobody knows them now, they play a good couple games, then the whole world knows them, so it'll be exciting.
When you got here, rookie year, when you got here in 2019, Nick, that was a team that leaned a lot on young players, rookies like yourself. This team probably going to do some of that. Is there anything you can take from when you were on the other side of that you can now pass on to them that will help them come along quicker?
Yeah, I'm sure things will come to me throughout the year. Just things that I'll talk to them about and help them with. But yeah, I definitely need to take a leadership role for sure. I think it's one thing to come in and work on my job and get better, which is all I've ever really worried about. And then it's another thing to try and bring everybody along with you. So it's definitely something that I'm thinking about and something I want to do.
Going from kind of player to player, young player to player, to kind of talk to them throughout practice, are you enjoying that role, that part of it?
Yeah, I mean, it's just friendly banter, but some of it is constructive criticism and yeah, I mean, obviously it's fun to watch a young guy just go through the growing pains that I went through, and anything that I see, I'm going to help them with.
Having gone through your own contract situation with this team, is there any advice or maybe like words of encouragement that you've given Juwan during this time?
I have not, no.
Did you
manage the expectations?
Kicking competition at all? It's a little different this year, right? As you're having them one kick, the other guy
I
kicks.
actually ain't paying attention to it, but can't lie.
Why is it different?
No, it's kind of exciting.
So much went on during camp last year in terms of players being hurt or not being able to practice their contract. Does it feel a lot different this year? I mean, it seems like there's no drama. You know, just everybody can work on their jobs. Do you get a sense of that?
I think I've answered a similar question maybe during OTAs. The drama is from the outside. There's really no drama. When Trent and BA weren't here, well, BA was here, Trent wasn't, right? It's just, I mean, it's just work. Everybody's here. We're all friends. There's no drama.
From a defensive end standpoint, do you like it when you're shifted inside on obvious passing downs and you're going against a guard or a center? Is that advantageous to you and Michael and other guys?
Yeah, I mean, you have to rep it and be good at it and know what's coming. It's definitely a different style, and if you're not good at it, then it's probably not something that you should do. I think myself, I've kind of gotten away from it throughout my year. I kind of got comfortable on the outside, but I wouldn't be opposed to working at this camp, but I think Michael is comfortable with it, and I think we're going to utilize him there.
What makes you good at it? I mean, what skill do you need to have to be good at that?
It's hard to say. I don't think there's necessarily a skill set. It's just like guys like Arden was really good at it. Charles was good at it. It's just a ability to speed up your hands, speed up your movement a little bit. Yeah, it's hard to say exactly what it is, though.
How do you manage your expectations? Ready for training camp. Obviously, you kind of strike me as assuming as kind of a quiet person, kind of speak when spoken to. When it comes to this group, being that they're so young, have they required you up to this point to kind of be more vocal? And when it comes to like being the leader, because you're kind of like the one that everybody's looking to on the defensive line.
I don't think there's a requirement, but I think I naturally do it. I think towards the end of last year, not that things were going great, but there was such little continuity in the people that were out there towards the end of the season that I was becoming a little more vocal, and I mean, I am vocal in my own way. I'm not going to give a rah-rah speech, but I think when you come from the heart and say things that rarely say things and say things that do come from the heart, then they mean a little more.
Did you manage your, appreciate it. How did you manage your expectations as a high draft pick dating back to your rookie year, and how have you seen Michael in that same sort of position to this point handle those expectations?
My rookie year was tough because I got hurt a couple times, so it was kind of stressful. You just kind of have to lean on some of the older guys. And the only thing that makes you really feel good is going out there and contributing and playing good, because then all those negative thoughts of whether you're going to pan out and all that stuff kind of just go away. But I think Michael does a really good job of that. I think he doesn't seem stressed at all. He's just coming in, working, and just very lighthearted, but also very intent on getting better every day.
Thanks, guys. Kittle will be our next one in here.
Howdy.
Hi, George.
Hello.
George, a lot of
People just hide mics up here. That's crazy. I didn't give you my consent. Sorry, howdy. Hi, guys. How are we doing today?
George, a lot of prominent players such as yourself kind of check out during the special teams portion of practice, but Nick Bosa said he was very excited to watch the kicking competition. Were you equally as enthused about that?
Today I wasn't. Now I will be. Forgot there was one for a second. Thank you, Nick. Yeah, it'll be exciting to watch. Can't wait. I love competition. It's good for the soul.
George, you're a big vibes guy. What do you make out
Me?
Yeah. What do you make vibes of day one?
The vibes of day one. Well, the vibes were immaculate yesterday. I had a great time seeing all the boys. Today, I mean, for me, football doesn't really start until we put pads on. But like this kind of getting in shape, just getting through the first couple days, that's really important. You know, like I said, get in shape, stay free from injury as best you possibly can. And then just be ready for the pads. So this is all fun. We're competing. It's not like fully competing yet because we're not hitting each other. But it's just great to be back in the building. Just excited that football is on the schedule again because I miss it all the time. And so I get to hit somebody again.
George, what was it like having Juwan out there, and what did you kind of gauge from his spirit, his energy?
Juwan's always out there with me, so I haven't – he's doing great, I think. Is there a reason you're asking me about Juwan?
Some contract stuff going on behind the scenes.
Huh. It's actually funny. I had to do some media thing, and it was like the same day that was announced. And a reporter asked me about it, and I was like, I'm pretty sure it was a fake tweet, and she almost crapped her pants. It was pretty funny. She had to double check with her producer. Yeah, that was pretty fun. Let's see. I mean, Juwan was awesome today. Great energy in the locker room yesterday, great energy today, his normal self. So just appreciate him attacking it like there's nothing going on.
George, obviously you've been doing it for a while, but is it hard the first few days you're out there playing football and you can't get each other?
Football has pads on. I mean, so it's just like I said, like you want to take advantage of the opportunities you get. Like you can still track the football, run your routes really good. The run game's ugly as crap. Like you can kind of work on your first step, your second step, your hands, but like, I mean, I lead with my shoulder pads and my helmet, so it's kind of hard to do that when you're not wearing pads or anything like that. So the run game's kind of a wash to me, but like you still just work on your angles. The pass game, though, it means a lot, but like, I'm a physical pass runner. Like I like to run into people and throw people when I run routes. So it just, challenges you to get open in different ways. And, I'm just going to have fun these first couple days, and when we put pads on, then football started.
How do you think the evolution of your preparation with tight end U has changed the way you get ready for day one, day two, and so on and so forth?
I wouldn't say it changes too much for me. Like I know the level of shape that I need to be in. I know the reps I need to take. I know that I need to run a shit ton of routes. Preparing for this because that's what I do in training camp. I run block and I run a ton of routes. So like that's really all I focus on is that. I mean, I can pull some fun things from tight end U. Like I've heard Travis talk 5 years in a row now, and I still pick up new things every time he talks. So that's really fun. This year we had Evan Ingram talk about releases. And that was really exciting to hear him talk about because he's such a freak athlete. And then he had film of him doing it on his home field. And so watching him do it and his thought process was cool. And I've taken some things from that. Not going to say I'm going to release like him. I like the way I release too, but you can kind of take his drills and stuff. So I take those, add my, the 40 days away, and then, show up to camp and just try to remember some of that stuff. But, at the end of the day, just play football fast and flying around.
Which of your 49ers guys attended tight end U?
Say that again?
Which of your fellow tight ends on the 49ers attended tight end U?
Let's see. At tight end U was everybody except for Tungus, but he did show up to my Kittle Fest party that weekend too, so I give him credit for that. We practiced other things, like drinking beer.
Get out and spending extra time with Brock down there at your facility.
Oh, it's awesome. I mean, I've been really lucky to have I have CJ Beathard down there who knows our offense, so that's always really helpful for me. I'm not training with a quarterback who doesn't know it. But then with Brock down there, it's really fun because they give us a list of routes that they want us to focus on, and for us to be able to run 20, 30, 40 routes 2-3 days a week, it just helps me. So when we get back and we show up here, it's not like we're running routes together for the first time, and you have that rust. So that was super beneficial, and just to it's really fun in my opinion too. I think it's training by yourself is really hard. And like quarterbacks, you can kind of train by yourself, right? Because you have like your quarterback coach, you do all your little weird workouts for your shoulder, all that weird stuff. And then like you go through the rest of the guys, but like he's in the gym with like 15 football players, so it like feels like a locker room vibe. And so you still have that, good energy around you all day. So I think that's really helpful. But yeah, no, just catching his passes is great. And then like him and CJ hanging out and just like talking about, funny stories from Shanahan and stuff is always really fun to hear because CJ's got a ton of them because he's the stubbornest person in the world. But no, just having Brock around was great, and especially when he's throwing to all the guys.
One of those routes you worked on in Nashville, the first one in team drills today. Did you know?
No,
that?
I don't practice a high corner. No, that I should not get that ball. Shout out Demo for dropping me. Thank you, Demo. No, but we were doing a ton of other routes. Like some throwbacks, there's like fake crossing routes that you break back out of, like some double move stuff, and then just like the staples that we run 300 reps of, and then just being able to get those now so he gets the speed of it and how I run my routes, because I run my routes a little bit different than other tight ends, and so just for us to get on the same page is beautiful.
Anything symbolic about the first one going to you today?
No, I was that's supposed to go to Juwan, and like I said, Demo the corner, he dropped me because he's supposed to carry me, and we never throw that ball, and as soon as he dropped me, I was like, oh, nice, sick, and then Brock threw it. So it's just fun to just execute like that on the first play. I will say the defense definitely didn't think we were going to throw a pass on the first play too, which is always fun.
To clarify, who's the stubbornest person in the world, CJ Beathard or Kyle Shanahan? Just to clarify.
CJ, what? It's not even no-brainer. Yes.
Because you have so many years under your belt here in the league. I asked Brock Purdy yesterday how to utilize, or how will he utilize this time in training camp to get used to the new targets that he has, the new faces on the offensive side. Any advice maybe that you're giving him watching quarterbacks have to do that throughout the years, or anything that you think will help the offense, being that that's the case this time around?
Just rip it and throw it. Expect guys to be there, and then where they're not, yell at them, tell them to get there, or throw it to me. That's my favorite.
Do a couple more. Go Tim here.
Hey, Tim.
Kyle said that he had the vets over at some point in the OTAs and talked to you guys that, the fact that the Rams game last year with Dre coming back was your best, everyone knew it was your best game, was a problem for him, because why was that game so good? It should be all the time. Did you feel that? When he said that, did you understand what that meant and how that has to change?
Did he say the best game as a team?
He just said it's generally understood. A lot of people think.
Yeah, I would say it was our best game as a defense. Our offense was pretty poopy that day. I will say that. Kyle's a coach that, he feels the energy of the team. That's what he does. And, Dre Greenlaw is a player who exudes energy at all times. And so, you feel him whether he's on the field or not. And, he could be out there with the threes and you still feel Dre Greenlaw's energy. And I think, when you lose someone like that, it's really tough. And so then when they come back, it's just a completely different vibe. And, that's a challenge to us for you have to replace a guy like that, which is really difficult to do. And Dre Greenlaw's in my opinion, a one of the best players I've ever played with, especially when he's on the field. And so, it's a challenge to us to find guys in the locker room that we currently have to step up and bring that energy and bring that juice, because you see when Fred and Dre play together, or Fred, Dre, and Aziz play together, you could feel all three of that energy. And, I think we're finding a guy to go with him that's going to help him bring that juice on every single play, because Fred plays every single snap.
How's Brock different? How's Brock different, better from year one to the guy you see today?
Most obvious answer, I would say he understands the offense better. Besides that, I think I've said the same thing for the last 6 months. Everybody asks me, what's different about Brock? He's just vocal. He understands the offense. He's comfortable in the offense. He's taking risks. I like it when he forces the pass. I like that. I'm okay with him throwing a couple of interceptions in training camp. I'd rather him throw them now than later. I want him to force those passes. But just his vocalness and when someone runs a bad route or a bad stem with the wrong steps and he yells at them, I want that. I want our quarterback to hold guys accountable, because a coach can yell at you and then some guys just goes over their head. But when Brock Purdy, your quarterback, yells at you, then it sticks. And so hopefully that continues, and he continues to be a vocal leader for us.
All right. Thanks, George.
Thanks, guys.